Hello everyone, I am Craig from Upside Down Shark Radio, and I am joined by the one and only Mega Man.
Hey, and now I'm upside down.
Yeah.
Not quite, but
You're not quite a shark either.
Yeah.
Teacher, podcaster, world traveller, record holder, friend to the stars, first rapper to perform at Comic-Con. Anything I'm missing? How would you introduce yourself?
wow, that's pretty good. I feel like just friend is most important. I think that I try to be a friend to all. You know, I grew up in a weird situation, just being a nerdy kid in a not so nerdy world, and you know, and I try to just be that friend that I wish I had growing up. You know, so that's it. Friend.
Last year was a crazy year for you, by all accounts.
And I have a lot of crazy years, but it's just been getting crazier and crazier. So last year was the wildest.
You finish up your tour in the UK, then you go back to the America for a few shows. What else do you have planned for the rest of the year? Is it going to be crazier than last year?
I'm trying to relax. I really am. But I just get more and more inspired as more things happen. I mean, this Guinness Records thing just happened now. So it's like, what do you do for the rest of the year? You know, you can't just do nothing once you do something cool like that. So honestly, though, I'm going home. I have a big U.S. tour after this, all of March. And then I'm just going to rest for April and then start working on a new record. I got a lot of great ideas and things that I want to start working on trying to execute for maybe late 2018, early 19, and more rest. I think that's definitely important to me.
Good for the soul.
I'm gonna spend more time at home with my wife, and also want to just figure out how to make moves that are more calculated and even bigger. That's it.
You mentioned Guinness World Record. How did that come about? Did you know you were?
I had no idea.
So what, did they message you? And
they messaged me. A gentleman who worked there, worked in the games department, and just was looking up like really cool, quirky records, you know. And he contacted me. He's like, "Hey, I think you have a record. Could you tell me like how many songs you have about Mega Man?" And I told him, and he's like, "Yeah, it's definitely a record, like by a long shot." So he's like, "We want to give you an award, but we're in London, so we have a problem." I was like, "Oh, well, actually, I'm touring, and I'll be in London." And they were like, "What? Perfect." So that's how I wound up here. And we did a great photo shoot that will be in the 2019 Guinness Records book. And that's amazing. Like, it's just more and more cool things keep happening that I didn't think were possible. So I think that's what's cool.
One of those things you'd say to your child self, just like, this is what's going to happen to you in life. And you're just like, I wouldn't believe it.
Nah, you're lying. Why would you say those things, you know?
I first came across your music on Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty's podcast Beyond.
Beyond!
And
yeah,
obviously that's just normal hat in this world, day and age, hearing someone from a podcast. What's the craziest story you've heard someone getting into your music?
Okay, this is a good one.
Okay.
Good question.
Thank you.
Once upon a time, a gentleman told me that he was on maybe the Pirate Bay or something, and he was pirating. It gets better.
Okay, yeah.
He was looking for copies of all of the Mega Man games, like all in one file, one torrent. He downloaded this torrent that had every Mega Man game in it, and then at the end it had a file with my album in it. There was a folder that said, "Mega Ran, you'll enjoy this." So I don't know who made that torrent file, but this person came to a show and was like, "This is how I've heard of you," and I've been listening ever since. And if they wouldn't have tucked it into that little torrent, then I wouldn't have heard you. So I thought that was the coolest way that someone's come across my music.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
Thank you, illegal downloaders.
Absolutely. I used to fight with illegal downloading, but I'm all for it, man. Steal the music. But when I come to your town, come out. You know, tell two friends about it, that you heard it. Share it with them. And I think that's more valuable than that $9.99 you would have spent to, you know, give me $6 of it on iTunes. So it's much more valuable to tell friends and to come out and support artists that you like when they're in your town.
Live acts is, like, I reckon in a few years' time, it'll just, you know, it'll be the weeds of the popular bands. That's how they make most of their money, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's kind of where it is now.
Yeah.
I think touring is the lifeblood for a musician, you know, and if you're not touring, they say like you're not serious, you know, because you got to understand the grind. And honestly, like that's really the best way to make an income and to make an immediate up close impact with supporters.
Where would you tell someone, like if they just found you on Pirate Bay or heard your heard your song in the game soundtrack, where would you say your album to start with, if any, or songs?
Well, I think Forever Famicom is a great start, only because it's a different type of album than what I would normally make. I tell stories, so it's not particularly wrapped up in a particular concept. So each song can stand separately, and I think a lot of the rest of my projects, you got to listen to the whole thing together and get a little bit of maybe some pretext to understand it and enjoy it fully. But Forever Famicom is a one-shot, one-off album with my friend K Murdoch, where we explore gaming culture, hip-hop culture, inner-city nerd culture, and just have a good time with that. And we tell some heartbreaking stories, as well as some positive, happy stories and some life lessons. And I think that's the album to jump in on. A song called Dream Master that's probably like quintessential, the life story, must listen for me. And it lets everybody know exactly who I am, where I come from, and why I do what I do.
That is one of my favourites of yours. I liked how you continue to release stuff afterwards as DLC. So like you could have DLC one for Famicom.
Absolutely.
Very creative.
Thank you, man.
Lovely.
I mean, we're in the game culture big time, and I feel like no one in music had really done anything like that. Like, give me an add-on, a little piece like that,
Here's the album, but more,
Yeah.
It's genius. You tour seemingly all the time. Anyone you would like to tour with in the future?
Wow. I just heard of a band. They're actually in London called Quiero Bonito. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, Japanese, right?
Amazing. They're here in London, but Japanese front woman, and so incredible. It's chiptune pop. Oh, it's just all over the place, but just really, really great.
It's insane in a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. I just found out that Gus of that band, I played a show with him way back at a festival in Manchester, Superbite, and so yeah, when I just started tweeting about them, he was like, "Hey, like you know me, you met me," and I was like, I was in this under a different name, and I was like, "What?" Mind blown. The world gets smaller, so maybe
that
fingers crossed. I think it's a perfect tour, especially out here. Where like I think that people will be interested in something cool and quirky like that. So that's my new thing now.
You on Upside Down Shark Radio, we like wrestling. I've heard a little, smattering that you like wrestling too.
It's all right.
You have a podcast, Matt Mania.
I do.
Recently, you've said we want to ramp up, pretty much get some force behind it. Where do you see that going in the next year exactly?
Well, I've just noticed some cool things happening with podcasting, but nowadays everyone and their mother has a podcast. So I think that
it's like us.
I think that it's very important to give your full effort to podcasting. There's podcasting festivals now and all types of cool things, and people do cool tips and tricks and things on how to make your podcast better. I think it's important to listen to other podcasts, get ideas, make things bigger and better. So I've been listening to a lot of great podcasts, and I just felt like inspired to make our thing a really cool thing. So honestly, I want to treat it like when I was teaching, I had music on the side, but I treated music like it was a full-time job. Now that I'm doing music, I have podcasting on the side, but I want to treat podcasting like a full-time job. So that's where I am now, where I want to just give this my full concentrated effort through help of, creative people who want to help with editing, with videos, with animation, with merch, with anything like that out there. Like any wrestling fans that go attend shows, I would love to focus on indie and independent, like very small, federations and things like that and promotions, and try to shine a light on the little guy. Everyone talks about WWE and we love WWE, but I do think that there are little guys that also need that support, and that's what we're all about.
Independent wrestling is very important. Obviously, you can't just have WWE, you have to have the other stuff too.
You gotta have other stuff. I think that, there's nothing wrong with someone who just watches WWE, but I do think you're kind of missing out if you don't watch at least a little bit of New Japan and some of the smaller promotions, because you'll learn so much, and you'll see that there's different styles to the way wrestling is presented.
It's like music, more voices is a good thing. Different opinions.
Absolutely. If you said all you listened to was Rihanna, I'd be like, well, that's cool, but there's a lot of other music out there.
Jay-Z's on one of her tracks. Give him a go, that sort of thing.
yeah, exactly.
Do you mind if I give you some quick fire questions?
Quick fire, do it.
Favorite wrestler?
Macho Man Randy Savage.
Favorite wrestling event?
WrestleMania 3.
Favorite superhero?
Spider-Man.
Favorite comic book arc you would recommend? So like Spider-Man is one of my favorite Spider-Man.
Spider-Man was great.
Yeah.
Secret Wars was awesome, as well as Batman Death in the Family.
Any game recommendations you're playing? I saw you had a Switch earlier.
Playing Monster Hunter. Also on Switch, I just got Bayonetta 2. Ooh. Looking forward to jumping into that. And I'm playing Cave Story for the first time. Like, I don't know where I was. I was asleep. But Cave Story is awesome. Highly recommend it if you haven't played it.
Would you say you were in a cave and that's why you didn't see it?
I think so. That's a really good pun.
Favorite thing about the UK?
The English breakfast.
I saw you tweet a chip butty.
Yeah, I just learned about that. I didn't eat it.
Oh, you didn't eat it?
I just saw it on the sign and I was like, what is this? And then I started talking about it and tweeting about it, and people were really interested in correcting me on a lot of things that were wrong with Chip Buddy and the way that I, took a picture of it. I guess it shouldn't have ketchup on it. It should have gravy or butter or things like that. But it's a French fry sandwich, so then when I said French fry, people were like, "No, it's chips." Well, I was trying to communicate it to my American friends who didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? So that was really all I was trying to do. 1 second.
Last question. What's your favourite shark? Here are some options, because we're Upside Down Shark Radio. We have the winghead, scoophead, Bruce from Finding Nemo, maybe Jaws. Mine's the hammerhead, personally. I
like the hammerhead. I actually like the tiger shark. I think tiger shark's cool. I love the stripes. I'm a big fan of the stripes.
Like some tribal stripes before you get going. Thank you for your time, Megaran.
Thank you so much.
I've been Craig.
I appreciate it, Craig.
Can I have a slice of cheese before we go?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
It's mature cheddar, so you must approach it in a very mature fashion.
Not the American style cheese.
Not at all. No? You can't get this stuff in the States. This is pure British cheese. And it's mature.
Thank you.
The number 3 of strength. 3 out of what exactly?
I believe it's 5.
Wow.
When you get to 5, it's extra mature.
Oh my gosh. It's so mature that it wants to have a candlelight dinner before it goes into your mouth.
So me and Megaran are going for a candlelight dinner. I will see you next time.
Peace.